Yo, fantastic podcast coming up right now with Chris McDonald, who starred alongside Adam Sandler as Shooter McGavin in Happy Gilmore. You do not want to miss this podcast. Rate, review, and tell a friend to come to the Michael Rapaport YouTube channel. Yeah. I love that. I love that. You worked with great directors. I'm not even going to name all of them, and you please chime in because I just wrote down 3 because of the biggest name.
Right.
You worked with Ridley Scott, Thelma and Louise, massive successful movie, huge pop culture phenomenon, ginormous movie. You worked with another actor turned director, what did I say? Redford?
Something,
Robert?
2 R's, I remember.
Robert?
Roberto?
No.
Hang on.
You should know it's
something was red and then the something was after.
It was a red and then it was a 4.
Yeah, there it was. Yeah, right.
You worked with Robert Redford.
What a great director.
On Quiz Show.
Yeah.
Which I love that film.
Yeah.
You worked with Darren Aronofsky, Requiem for a Dream. What do directors do for you with an actor? You know, because this is a question that non-actor, non-showbiz people will ask, and to explain it is it's hard to explain. You know, for me, I've never had a director. I think a lot of times people think like a director will do like throw some magic potion on you.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I think everybody's interpretation of what a director does for actors, obviously visually they do all sorts of things. I mean, directors are answering questions and, you know, they're picking this couch versus that table and that, you know, book. And I mean, they're doing so much. But speaking on behalf of actors, for you, in film, these are films, because I know on television it's a different story, especially,
completely.
Which I want to ask you. But for you, what does a director do or doesn't do to that you would make them say, this is a great director? And if you could tie in those 3 names at all, please.
Yeah, I got to break it down that way because the first one was a seminal moment for me to put me out in the world of people like, oh, who is that guy? He was freaking great. Ridley Scott is, first of all, casting is everything, they say. So, you know, you got to be really, you direct, you know, you got to cast the right people you want. And anyway, there was one movie in town and my ex, Gina Davis, was the star of it.
So you guys used to date in real life?
We're engaged. We bought a house together.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it was a big kind of a thing.
TMZ moment right here, man.
TMZ right there. But she wrote about me in her book. She wrote this book right now, right now. And that's really great. And she broke my heart, but at the same, and left me for Jeff Goldblum when she did this movie. Long story short is, I was going to come up and play the rapist. Now, if you remember that movie, there was a guy that was the whole like motor for the rest of the movie.
Yes.
We got to get the hell out of here. We're not going through Texas, that kind of thing. And I said, well, I would just basically take that money, go right to therapy. I'm not going to play the rapist.
Right.
But you know what I'd be interested in playing? The husband.
So she was already cast.
Already cast.
Okay, so go ahead.
Now, there are different stories about this, but it doesn't really matter. The way I lived it, I went right into Lou DeGimo. I don't know if you ever worked with Lou, one of the great casting directors. And I walked in this room and I loved Ridley Scott's work so much. And I just basically knew I had to go out, prepare it, and come in and do it. And there's 15 people sitting there, including Bruce Willis, including all these other great actors.
Do you remember who else?
Well, yeah. Huey Lewis was there, funnily enough. Other actors that I've worked with before but anyway, it was amazing just to go in there and sit with them. And I had gone home. I lived close to where they were auditioning, and I went out and I put this perfect leisure suit on that I have. I had a little closet of little things to wear. And I had this little ding that went around my thing that said #1 on it. It was given to me by a girl in high school. You're doing so well. I love great stew. You're amazing. And this is me. I sell Tupperware, and I'm #1. And she sent it to me. And I thought, where is that necklace? So I put that bad boy on it. Now I'm feeling like a little bit light, like this guy is coming to fruition with me. And I go in and I read this thing, and he laughs out loud. And I end up getting the part. Long story short is, the great thing about a director like Ridley Scott is the fact that, man, if you get someone who just is your champion, you want to do anything for him. My very first scene in that movie, I'm leaving the house. I got the new shoes on with the thing. There's nobody. I'm going to throw this watch in a minute.
No, go ahead. Turn it
Sorry.
off.
I go out in these clothes and I go, oh, wow, that's not
No,
good.
turn it off. Finish. You go out these clothes.
I'll just hold it. I have no idea how to do it. There you go. Eye watches. Yeah, I'm a little.
God.
So anyway,
No, hold on.
there.
Let me. Oh,
I know. Just put it under the couch. I'm sorry.
Do the code?
Yeah. All right. There it is. Yeah. All right. This is so ridiculous. I'm going to sit on it. It's fine. Here we go. So anyway, Michael,
We'll edit it
I'm
out.
walking out of the house. I got these brand new shoes. You know how they give you clothes.
Yep.
And it's slippery because you got these two jamokes. Because talk about a visual artist. He added these two guys that said, hey, Thelma's always working on her house. And I slip and I fall right on my ass. And I bang my head on the cement maker. And I get up and a little guy on my shoulder said, keep going. Just keep going. I got up. I got in the car. I ad-libbed like midday. Yeah, Homer, I want you out at 3 o'clock. I get in the car and like, pull out in my car. He loved the one so much, the number one. He put it on my license plate, the one. He's a visual guy. And he said, listen, we could do that again, but that's in the movie. Because
that was it.
It was it. It was a oneer. It was really, really funny. Anyway, when you get a director that champions you like that, you feel like $1 million. Segue over to Robert Redford. Brilliant. Great director. Beats Marty Scorsese out for the 1980 Oscar with his movie.
Ordinary People.
And beats out Raging Bull. I mean, wow. But a beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful film.
Both of them, beautiful. I mean, Raging Bull is one of my favorite, top 3. Anyway, but so he never talked to me. He did cast me. I flew myself to New York. I was in LA at the time working on a pilot, but I flew myself to New York and I said, I got to get in front of him. He goes, and Bob's late. Well, Bob was always late, apparently hours late. He just didn't, time is different. And so I go to the television archives and I watch this guy, this Jack Barry guy.
From Quiz Show.
And I got him. I mean, I'm not going to mimic him, but I got that feel, right? I come in, he sees it in my eyes. He goes, Chris, Bob, good to see you. Just come in with me. So I've already slated. I've been there for 2.5 hours. So I slated. Can I get the slate thing out of the done? Slating is when you say your name and what agency you're with. So can I slate? Yeah, good. So I'm thinking I'm going in that room. He goes, no, Chris, come to my office. Comes up. He goes, I ain't got a problem. You are a Jack Barry. And I'm looking at the casting director, and I think, Bonnie Timmerman. She goes, yeah. And I went, oh my God. So he says, he talked to me 25 minutes about life, about choices, about where I've been, how I grew up, all that kind of stuff. Not unlike you, Michael. Anyway, and so the funny thing is that he never talked to me on the set. All he worked with was Turturro and
Rafe
Fiennes. And I thought, wow. And he noticed that. And so they were doing a lighting setup, and he came over. He said, Chris, you're doing great. You're just perfect, and everything like that. Did I ever tell you a story? And he went into a 25-minute monologue that just made me think, man, you put in time in for me, because you could feel that I was feeling a little left out. I would ever step off, and he'd get really intense with Rafe and really intense with John, and who were both brilliant in that film. And he just recognized that, and I thought, wow, that's when I direct, I'm gonna keep this moment in my head. It's brilliant. And Darren Aronofsky, completely different. Mary Vernew, God love her, she's cast me a few times. I go and I auditioned, and he later says, did I make you audition for that thing? Because he said, yeah, no, you were great. Anyway, I go to New York. He lives on the west. He lives in Hell's Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
He says, Chris, come on over and we'll go up on the roof. So I go up on the roof and I start ad-libbing. He's got a little camera out, and he starts making this whole thing up. I was like channeling Tony Robbins at the time. So anyway, completely different. Totally out there. He said, we're going to walk the streets right now. After I did this whole ad lib on his roof, walk the streets, and I would stop people and go, have you changed your life? You know about the 3 things that can change your life? And it was amazing. Some people go, I kind of know who he is. So they would stop and talk. And he used all that stuff in a video about the whole thing. It was just amazing. And Matthew Libatique, who shot it, was a complete genius. And I'd seen Pi up at Sundance, so I knew who he was. And it was just, that was a roller coaster. And working with, those great actors. What a beautiful movie that is. Dark. Party of 3. Dark. Oh my God, that everyone who went through that hell of drug addiction. It was the biggest anti-drug movie I think ever made. Unbelievable.
Love that film. Were you aware in the script or on set? Obviously, your stuff was kind of on its own how visually unique it would be? Because I would imagine, you know, I mean, there was like all these crazy things with the eye and the shoo and the this. Were you aware how visually, you know, like stimulating that film would be, or did you when you saw
no,
it, were you like, holy?
First time I saw it was at the midnight screening in Cannes. The first time I'd been there with the movie. I'd been there earlier with other things and went to all the parties like you do. But man, I was there for the 12 o'clock screening. I was like, and I looked over. He was sitting 2 seats down. I went, holy God, really? He goes, oh, you haven't seen anything yet. And it was just, wow. It was a big standing ovation, things like that. He said it was the most there's most edits in a movie ever with all of that stuff like
Yeah.
with the eyes and stuff. Oh my God, it was insane. He just is a different level of an auteur. And his latest one, The Whale, Jesus, what a rip your heart out story that is. I mean, he's just he can do anything.
He different level. He's different level. Yeah.
But those three, those are two or three of my favorite experiences as an actor.
And to go back to my original question, like in terms of, you know, director fairy dust or director magic touch, or, you know, for me, I would always say it's what you said about Ridley Scott. It's the support. It's not so much, you know, it could be do it faster, do it slower, but it's making you feel comfortable and making you feel a part of, and giving you that confidence.
Exactly, which is night and day. Some guys can get up. I got to do that fast. It's like, oh, okay, that's fine. I can do it fast. I can do it anywhere you want. But when they go, kid, you're killing it. You know, just keep on doing what you're doing, and you do a couple more takes. It was so fun working with Harvey Keitel because
what did you work with him on?
It was Thelma and Louise.
Oh, right.
And he was the cop, right? And so this whole thing, there was pizza on the ground, and I was like, I actually, the first time I ever did it, there's a fly, like that with the fly. There was no fly. They put the fly in later, and when the thing fell off my hand, I dropped my phone like that, and then I'm getting the information from the detective Harvey Keitel, and he goes, "Yes, your wife is like show her a picture." Like what? It was just like, and he had to say, "Sir, you're stepping in your pizza." He couldn't say it straight. They just basically used what he had. He kept laughing the whole time. And then they were sitting outside a little later. Well, you in love with Thelma? Well, I am about as much as you can be with a nutcase like that. I mean, come on. Great lines. Callie Corey, I love her to death. I mean, well, we just ran with it. It was so much fun. And that kid Pitt, what is it? I don't know what happened.
I don't know what the hell happened to him either. He was supposed to be something. He's good looking.
He had promise is what he had. That was about it.
Pitt.
But I never saw him again.
Pitiful is really what it turned out to. The career was.
It's something about abs. I mean, I have an ab.
I got abs too. I got abs too. Just no one likes to see my abs.
No, that's the problem. But I heard that you can do a plank for 6 minutes.
That's a fact, Chris.
All right, now that's badass. I guess gotta say, I tried 3.
It ain't easy. You could get to 6. If you could get to 6,
I can get to 6.
100%, you could do it.
It's right here, isn't it?
Yeah, just go to 3, 3:30. Then you'll get to 4. Then you'll be like, I got this.
Wow. All right.
When you get to 5, you'll go, I could get to 6. And then some guy just broke the record. It was like 8 hours and 45. I was like, what? Don't you have something?
And he was not a young man. He
No.
was early 60s.
But don't you have something to do?
Yeah.
Like I just went.
I'm going to be hanging out in here doing planks, babe.
I couldn't sit on the couch for 8 hours and 48 minutes. Like it would be hard for me to do, like, let alone planking.